Welcome back to another episode of New Friends. I'm Jordana Bryant, and I am so stoked for today's episode. Eli Patterson, thank you so much for joining us.
Which camera do I look at?
You're so fine. You can look at any
of
them.
them. Okay, cool.
We'll keep that
I'm
in.
Eli.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Eli, we met a few months ago.
We did.
And I feel so bad because when we met, I didn't put it together that I was following you. And you must have been like, this girl is so rude. She's acting like she doesn't know me. We were following each other at that point.
We were. I didn't, but we didn't really know each other at all. So
right?
it was just like,
and we were just meeting in a friend's,
and we ate at this Mexican restaurant, like, what was it called? Cilantro.
Cilantro's.
Yes, love
Iconic.
cilantros. Yes, yeah.
And then afterwards, I was like, wait, because one of your videos popped up.
Oh.
And I was like, oh my gosh, wait, I'm so stupid.
Oh no, you're fine.
But I legit so love all the songs that you post. I feel like you're so unique in like the vulnerability and honesty that you get across in your lyrics.
Thank you.
Like, and it can be so specific and so relatable at the same time, which is such a strength that so many people don't have.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I don't know. I think I always try to write from, personal experience, and it's really hard because like a lot of songwriters I feel like make up stories and like, which is great. I love that. I love making up a story, but I feel like all the songs that I put out are all things that happened to me, and they're all like the scariest things I've, ever had to say, and like they're very vulnerable. And I find it hard to not write from a vulnerable place because I feel like it's almost, and this might sound cliche like in a songwriter world, but it really is my therapy. It's like homemade therapy to me, and I just that's what I've always done.
And even if you're not doing music, I feel like a lot of people lean on journaling or art or anything creative to express their emotions and process them. And I think it's so beautiful that you can do that in a way that helps so many other people who are feeling the same thing. I also think it's what a lot of people don't realize is it's so scary to post songs that are so honest to you. It feels like you're like exposing a wound.
No, it's so scary, and especially when I write songs about people too, and then I post the songs and they know it's
literally
about them.
And you're like, wait,
it's so
now.
It's like, oh, kill me, like, no. Yeah.
With names, have you ever posted a song with someone's name?
I've written songs. I have demos with names in them, but I don't think I've ever posted them with names. But
yeah, that's a level of
that's almost like disrespect. But like,
I did that a few weeks ago.
Oh really? Oh no!
Like,
did you get in trouble for it?
You know what? He never reached out to me again. Which was fine.
Yeah.
I was over it at that point. But there was some miscommunication with like, I was just going to post it on TikTok because he doesn't follow me on TikTok. And then the girl helps me like edit some stuff and posted it to my Instagram too. And then he saw it like 5 minutes later and I was like, cool.
But
it's
funny.
When you post songs that are like super real to you, how do you kind of cope with the fact that it's like anyone can see that and it can be like a really nerve-wracking experience?
I mean, I honestly don't really think that much about it. You'd think I'd think more about it, but it's just like, I kind of just think it's important to be honest as an artist.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I find it harder to be honest with my friends than it is with my songs.
Interesting.
I find it easier to be honest with, posting it to the world. And
do you think it's because it's like strangers that are seeing it?
Yes, I think that's exactly why. It's like nobody knows me. And so it's like, that's what it feels like in a therapy session. Like your therapist doesn't know you.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And I always found that like too with performing too, like it's easier for me to perform in front of 100 people than it is with 4 of my friends.
Yes.
So that's just like, I guess I never really think that much about it because it's just, I don't know.
Honestly, playing a song that's super vulnerable for your friends can be
that's so scary to me. I love my friends and then they're my biggest supporters other than my parents. But
it's like, wait, I don't want you to know this about me. I don't know, because it's like a lot of those things. It's like, I'm not ashamed of the fact that like I had an eating disorder, but like, I don't know, like being in such an intimate moment and sharing that with people who are close to you feels like, it just feels really like you're laying yourself out there. Whereas sometimes when you're doing it, like you're just filming it in front of your phone and then you can kind of like just post it and not pay attention. And then also I'm sure when you see the comments of people who are going through the same thing and who your songs are helping, that has to be such a fulfilling.
It is really fulfilling. I go through and like comments. Now I've gotten better at like responding to comments and liking comments, and it really is fulfilling to know that I'm not alone in, you know, something that I go through. And it almost like sometimes makes me cry, like seeing it. Like I'm just like, wow, like I didn't know this many people related to it. So,
right?
Yeah.
And then when you see the comments that are like paragraphs of people, like the paragraphs get me every time. When I see someone comment something, sharing their own story, having the courage to put out for anyone else to see in the comments.
Yeah, sometimes it's like a whole life story of how it affects, like about like what that song means to them. Yeah. And it's like really like, I'm just like, I didn't know just like that I could touch someone's life like that. So
doesn't it also like make you almost want to cry, the fact that we get to do something that can have such an impact on people? Like, I so believe that music is such a universal and impactful creative field, because even if you don't speak the same language, like music has the ability to like cut through everything else and really talk about what you're feeling and make people feel less alone. And like, that's such a beautiful thing.
It really is. And I don't know. I think I want people to have the songs that I never had.
I love that.
You know, when I was going through it.
Can you talk about Swimming with a Shirt On?
Yeah.
Because so beautiful.
Thank you.
Real. And I mean, how many times am I going to say honest and vulnerable? But it is. I mean, that's obviously your specialty, but it's so moving.
Thank you. Yeah, I wrote that one. I started writing that one in July of last year. I was in my childhood bedroom when I wrote it, back home. And I don't know, I was just kind of thinking about how, you know, it was summertime and I was like going to the pool with my friends, and I never, still to this day, I never take my shirt off. It's something that's really hard for me to do. Just because part of me, like, and this might sound like really like terrible, but like, it's like part of my conscience is like, I don't want to burden people with like what's underneath, like stretch marks, and like, I don't know, I just feel like I don't look like everybody else in the pool sometimes. And I just kind of cover it with like a black tee, you know, or like just because like I guess I want to be like everybody else in that instance. I don't want to feel like the odd one out. And that's why I still swim with the shirt on, which is like really like scary to say. And like, it's like, I don't know. It's just like, that's like, I don't know. But yeah, I, you know, was thinking about that a lot, and I had that title in my notes app for about a month, until I wrote it in July. And I sat down and I wrote the first verse and chorus, and it was really, really heavy. And I didn't touch it after that night. I didn't touch it because I didn't know if I wanted to finish it. Because once I finish something, I usually like, I'm like so excited because I want to put it out.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if I wanted to finish that one quite yet, because I didn't think I had all the thoughts yet about how I feel. And then it was Thanksgiving and I was back home again. And those same, you know, thoughts of me always swimming with the shirt on as a kid and still now came back, and I was thinking about it now. And it was Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving, and I wrote it at 2 a.m. Back in my hometown. And I finished it, and I think it's one of the most proud I've ever been of a song, just because I can't believe I wrote that. Like I poured it out, like, you know, on paper, and like I don't know. I just I don't know. I feel like a lot of times, like when songwriters have like really vulnerable songs, like they'll say it was like a hard song to write, but I think it was an easy song for me to write. Yeah, because it was 100% true.
I agree with that. I think that those songs, it can be hard to start. It can be hard to get to
It was hard to start. It was hard to start.
Where
That's what it was.
You want to share it.
It was hard to start.
But once you do, it pours out, because you're not even thinking about really what you're saying. You're just like letting it flow without the gate of, no, this is too much. This is too personal.
It was also hard to share too, but that one specifically. And usually I don't get, you know, like I said, I don't really get too scared about showing people songs, but that one in particular is like kind of crosses a line to like vulnerability. It's like really, yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, that one, I like that one a lot.
But I think it's also so relatable because it gets at an emotion that's like, even forget the specifics of, you know, being like at a public pool and not wanting people to see. It gets at the emotions of feeling insecure about yourself and not feeling, I don't know, not feeling confident enough to show who you really are to other people. And I think that's such a real emotion. And I honestly don't know if anyone who's at a pool or, you know, at the beach or anything feels confident. I think everyone there is like judging themselves and being like, oh, like my stomach's too big, my thighs are too, whatever, like whatever it is, everyone's insecure. Like, and I feel like that's such an interesting thing, because why is that the universal experience and emotion? Why is it not like, what a beautiful day, or like how fun that we live in a place where we get to do this, or like how lucky are we that like we get to take a day. It's I don't feel good about how I look. People are judging me. Like I don't, you know, like it's interesting, and it's kind of sad that it takes away from the moment and like
takes away from the joy.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like I often like compare, like, you know, like in that song, in instance, like I was comparing my body to like other people's body in like a pool setting. And my dad always says this thing, and I've been saying it a lot recently, just to remind myself everything's going to be okay. But he always says comparison is the thief of joy.
So true.
And I don't know, that's, my dad always has said that. And he said it a lot, you know, in the past couple weeks, just because with everything going on in my personal life. But I think that's a good thing to remember.
And it's not even in just a physical appearance, you know, situation. Comparing yourself in any way, like it always is just so crushing. Like I feel like a lot of times I'll be scrolling on social media and I'll have just had a video that I'm really proud of, like, oh my gosh, this just did 1 million views. Like I'm so excited. And then I see someone else who like their post just did like 10 million views or whatever. And I'm like, well, I guess mine wasn't that good. And it's like immediately when you compare yourself to someone else, it just sucks all of the happiness out of it.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to start comparing ourselves to people who are doing worse than us. Or maybe we just need to stop
don't compare ourselves. Maybe we just don't compare ourselves.
Look at that person. Wow.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Maybe we should all just stop comparing and be proud of ourselves.
That's funny.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I don't have the best advice all the time. But no, I feel like also it kind of, what I loved about that song is, for me, it was really relatable in the sense of, I think that a lot of times when we're so insecure about how we look and not feeling good enough, we stop doing things that we used to love.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I was really struggling with my weight and eating, like I wouldn't even want to hang out with my friends because so many social things involved eating. Like I wouldn't even want to go out for coffee or lunch because I wasn't eating lunch, or you don't want to go to the pool or to the beach because you're worried about what people think about you. And it's and I don't know what the answer to it is, but it's such a sad thing to think that some internal thoughts are controlling your life and your experiences and what you're letting yourself get to do, because like it's, I don't know, it's one of those things where everyone should feel confident enough to go out and do something that they want to do. Yeah. But we can be our own worst enemies a lot of the time.
Yeah. That's so true.
Do you ever see those Instagram or TikTok videos that are like, no one like is going to say, oh, that person's such a great friend because they're so skinny, or like no one, when they talk about you, like, oh, you'll love her, she's like, she works out all the time.
I've never seen that, but that's so true. Like no one's going to say that.
Those are all on my For You page. Like at your funeral, no one's going to be like, wow, she was so fat. Like nobody's going to say that. Like no one's going to say that you were fat or skinny, or that you worked out or didn't, or that you always ate healthy, or that you always ate like not great stuff. Yeah. Like they're going to be focused on, wow, Eli was such a thoughtful friend. Eli had such a kind heart. He was so compassionate. Well, he is so compassionate. Let's stop talking about you in the past.
He was. Oh, knock on wood.
Let's continue to talk about you as if you're here, because you are. But like that, those are the things that people focus on. And I think we just need to remind ourselves of that and start focusing on that ourselves.
Yeah, I agree.
And you also just put out well, you didn't put it out, but I was doing a little light stalking before this on your TikTok, and I don't know what to call it because I didn't see a title, but the song that you just posted.
It's called Spin the Bottle.
Okay,
yeah.
Spin the Bottle.
Spin the Bottle, yeah.
What a interesting and like immediately first lyric, like off the gate. It so pulls you in. Can you talk about the story behind that one?
So yeah, I wrote it with my friends Ryan Nealon and Robin Delanto. They're great people. They're one of my good friends, or they're some of my good friends. And we had a write here in Nashville about 2 weeks ago. That song like wasn't anything until 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
And so we came in and I was just talking about like, I was like, man, I feel like I've never like gonna fall in love. I've never been in love with anybody before. I've had crushes, but like I've never, been in love, and I've never kissed anyone, and I've never like felt it. So we wrote a song about that, and just kind of, how I just feel like, I don't know. It was just like, it was almost like a thing where it's like, will I ever like kiss somebody? Like, will I ever like, So that's just like kind of like, I was just kind of like spilling my guts through that entire session and being like, I like, have had crushes before, and like I've got rejected sometimes, and like it's just, I don't know, but I've just never had my first kiss. So, and I feel like a lot of people my age have had a first kiss. I'm 20. So
I do think a lot of people have, but I also think a lot of people haven't.
Yeah.
And I was like feeling something similar because like for me, it wasn't until maybe like a year ago that I had my first kiss. And my mom, like I was talking to her about that before, and I was like, yeah, when will it happen? Like I just feel like it. And she was like, have you ever thought about the possibility that you haven't necessarily been open to it? Like you've struggled with being like, feeling really insecure about yourself and your body. And even if you say that you want that, are you really like putting that out there? And are you really like, because there's something subconscious that people can tell when you're seeking like
when
that attention.
And when you're not ready.
And when you're not ready. And when even though you want it, you have two conflicting emotions in yourself that you want like that closeness and that relationship, that you also are really afraid of that because you don't necessarily feel comfortable to let someone in.
Yeah.
And I thought that was such an interesting point. And honestly,
that actually,
like,
I've never looked at it that way. That's really...
Isn't it so, like, it's
Maybe
not what I would have thought of, but I think that for a lot of us, we feel like we focus so much on the parts of ourselves that we don't feel comfortable to share with someone, that when it comes down to it, you're not fully putting yourself out. I wasn't fully putting myself out there.
To be honest with you, I haven't been fully confident in myself, so how can I love anybody else?
Right? Or how can you feel like safe and secure to let someone see all of you? Because I feel like that's what a relationship is. Maybe not first kiss, but that's what a relationship is. It's like letting someone in and showing that vulnerability. And it's interesting how even though we can be comfortable being vulnerable in certain situations, in others it feels like a lot more foreign and a lot like scarier.
But yeah, I don't know, I would just kind of like that whole session was just kind of me just like being, I guess, a hopeless romantic or whatever you call it. But I don't know, I'm really surprised and like excited to see that people are really loving the song. I posted it like yesterday, and it's already got like quarter of a million views, and I'm like, whoa,
amazing.
This is crazy.
It's amazing.
Like in like less than 24 hours, it's like I feel like really good and a good sign. So I don't know.
Absolutely.
I'm just like excited to see like what happens, because I always loved. I mean, in the past 2 weeks, that's the song I've been listening to like a lot of my voice memos. I don't have a demo yet. I need Robin to send the demo. But
no way. Oh my gosh. Ron, get on it.
Let's send the demo, Robin.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Love you.
Oh my gosh.
But I don't know. I love that song, and I'm really, really happy with that people are liking it.
That's amazing. Well, everyone in the comments, I'm sure there's lots of people who want to volunteer as tribute to be your first kiss.
Sign up. Just kidding.
Okay, wait, but one of the coolest things too, I think, is that you're not only doing music, but you're also at the same time going to college, which is so, I don't know. It has to be so much to juggle. You're going into what, senior year? Junior year. Oh my gosh. How has it been trying to juggle literally like 2 full-time jobs in essence at the same time?
I mean, honestly, like I do love Belmont. I love the community I've made there at Belmont. I'm grateful for the time that I've like, you know, like just the community I built up there. I do feel like this past year I did kind of put school aside a little bit, and I still passed all my classes. Yes.
Go Eli.
Yes, I still got C's and above, so C's get degrees. But I don't know. I feel like I kind of just like put it on the back burner because I was just like so wrapped up, and I was doing sessions all the time, like outside of class, and like I was kind of skipping class sometimes too to do the sessions. And
no, I'm just kidding.
No. You know, Belmont, like if you miss more than 6 classes though, you fail a class.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that kind of makes sense. But that's unfortunate.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think Belmont is really great, but I think, you know, I'm doing a lot outside of Belmont. I don't know. I feel like I still want to like finish it out though, just because I've already done it all. Unless something crazy happens.
You're halfway there.
Yeah.
And I also think that it's one of those difficult things because you want to honor the fact that you're going to college, but you also want to be focusing on the parts of your career that can actually move the needle. And for you, like that is the songwriting and the posting and the content and all of that. And I think it's really impressive that you're doing both and you're still trying to finish out college.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited to see everything that's next for you. And
thank you.
I can't wait for Spin the Bottle to come out,
yeah,
hopefully.
I don't know if that one's coming out next or not. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, fingers crossed.
I just posted it 2 days ago, like the first version of whatever. So
well, I'm so excited to hear the full thing whenever it comes out, hopefully. Please. Yeah. And where can everyone else hear the music that you have out?
So everywhere on Spotify, Apple Music, you know, all my socials, Eli Patterson songs. Go follow if you want.
Yes.
But Eli Patterson everywhere. So.
If you want to feel extremely seen, go follow Eli.
Thank you. That's really sweet. That's
oh my
really
gosh.
sweet.
No, of course. Thank you so much for being on, Eli. I am so glad we got to do this, and we need to hang out soon.
Yes, let's hang out.
Please,
yes,
I would love that.
This is gonna be amazing.
And thank y'all so much for hanging out with us.
Thank you guys for watching.
This episode.
I hope you guys liked me. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, everyone loved you, I'm sure. And it would mean so much to me if you'd subscribe, give the podcast a good rating, and hopefully I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.